want to first tell me how's it going, and then we can get to questions at the end after I show you this really cool thing. Mary, what's up?
Hi, I just got home. I was out running errands and I was trying so desperately to get back. So I just exited my vehicle.
Oh, nice. I know
I'm going to switch to my laptop in just a second, but we're good. We're crazy over here. So that's not a bad thing, but
yeah. So you've been doing events and pop-ups, and I don't think you've had any lives lately, have you?
no, I did an unboxing a few weeks ago when I got a lot in. We are currently in a situation, like my husband says, it is a good problem to have where like last weekend, yeah, I think it was last, I had like a over $5,000 weekend between my booth space and the Grove, or my booth space and the event, and we weren't anticipating that. So now we're like running really short on inventory, so we've been playing the mad dash. I have a huge event at the end of May, so we've been trying to like get our projections together for that, and we just were not prepared for what we did last weekend. And so we had to kind of regroup, and I had to reorder really quickly. So good problems to have.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was.
So one event, or is that what you said? One event?
I had an event, a Friday, Saturday event, and then I had my where my booth space is. They're only
Yeah.
open every first and third weekend. So it was an open weekend for them. And so I had that too. But so I have a goal there for every month, and I'm about to like double it. So anyways, we try and project what we're doing. And really, Karina, I only carry Judy Blues for denim, and that has just done really well for me. And I brought in two colors and almost sold them completely out, like 36 pairs down to 7. And so obviously the price point on those is going to increase my sales, just the number, because they're so expensive.
Well, but on the other hand, denim is hard to move. So the fact that you moved it says a lot.
Oh, like yeah, I think I had 36, and then I had 9 left after the weekend, and then sold 2 online. So now I'm down to 7 pairs, and I was like, oh my gosh. So we did a quick reorder on that. Luckily, they'll be here Tuesday. It was insane.
Wow. Oh, I have someone waiting. So what is your goal? I'm curious. What's your goal for the Grove, your little spot in the Grove every month?
Yeah. Last year in April, we decided that it was 2000. That was going to be our goal. And then we've now bumped it to 3. And I mean, I've had some huge months there where I've done like 6 and over 5. So it really just depends. I think, if nothing else, we've learned if we don't have the inventory in there, we're not going to sell it. And so that's when we
Yep.
came up with that number. So like that, like, cause initially when we would have an event, I'd have to pull out a lot of that inventory, right? But then my sales wouldn't be good there. And so we had to kind of find that balance on what we were comfortable carrying, retail cost with our inventory. And ever since we did that, like, we've been golden. And I think I have a lot of different styles of Judy Blues now, and I'm a huge dress, I saw a lot of dresses as well. And so if I've got good dresses and I've got Judy Blues that people want, it just increases your sales because the price points are higher. So
Well, and I know your pricing is really, really good on your website. So I'm really, really proud of you for like marking up your stuff to make actual money and not being
oh,
scared to do that. Because I
yeah.
think that's something a lot of ladies have a hard time with.
I mean, we've always followed the initial guidelines, right? And I think that sometimes, I get it in and I do that margin, and I'm like, I can't sell it for that. Like, once you get it in and see it, like if it wasn't something
Yeah.
I had at market, I'm like, it ain't gonna fly. So you have to go a little bit below. But then I also have like, especially dresses that I get in when I do my markup, and I'm like, oh no, I can get $10 or more, for it. So they average each other out,
Yeah.
You got to look, you got to know, at some point you learn what your customer is going to pay for each item. So
Yeah. And you know what? I sold a dress for 130 a few days ago, which was like a high for me. That was crazy. And it was a drop ship
Crazy.
dress too. So I didn't even really like, because I would never bring in inventory that was that high of a price point.
Yeah, it's a
So
lot of money. I mean, it was hard when we decided to do that investment into Judy Blue just because I mean, your cost is pretty significant too, you know, so,
and
but
you have to
it's
buy the full runs. But tell the ladies on here who may not be familiar, you do full runs, right? You do regular and plus with everything.
everything. Yeah. So I always forget that, like, you know, when people are just starting in there and I don't drop ship. So I have to come up with the money up front and we don't operate in debt. So, and we'll be 3 years old next month.
Oh
Actually,
my
next month today. I know that's crazy. So yeah, I do full runs. So like everything I buy, like if you're only buying one pack, if you're bringing in inventory, I'm bringing in two. So my cost is usually double most. And
God.
it's uh initially it was a rough road, but it's a mission that I've set out to do from the beginning, and we have definitely made it work. So
Well, that was part of your why, right? Because I
yeah.
remember I was like, Mary, it's going to cost you a lot more. And you were like, but it's really important to me, you know, and she had a really strong why. And so she followed that, you know, so that
Yeah.
is cool.
Thank you.
Wow. So I know you were saying that you wanted to hit 130K this year. What do you think about that now?
I think we're on track. I think we're on track. You know, like sometimes you can just feel like when you're on the verge of something. So we kind of operate and then you gotta scale. It's whether it's a new thing we're building for our indoor setup or we're cleaning up our website. That's kind of my next thing. I've been working on all things branding first quarter for me, and I know we're in April, but just kind of like my colors, my customer all thing my why, like getting it into what I'm calling my brand Bible, like, you know, just dialing that in. And then this next, after that, my goal is to be done by April. I'm doing all things website. I have to do an update on my theme. It's due. And there's a lot of stuff I'm not utilizing. So that's kind of my next, but you can't do it all. You know, you only a one person show. So I got to take one thing at a time and dial it in.
That's exactly right though, because there you can't like you'll go crazy. So literally, I remember when I first started, it was like I focused like really hard on one thing, and I felt like I was like juggling those plates. I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember me saying this. Put one plate in the air, and when you get it going and it's up there staying, then you throw another plate up in the air, you know, and so you can't like be really, really good at everything right off the bat. You just kind of have to do one thing at a time. I had another question for you. Gosh, now I can't remember what I'm just so excited you're on here. Do you guys have
I
any questions for Mary? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like what you're talking about, like dialing in. I mean, we do a ton of events, so like we've dialed in our event setup, which we're making another update to. You know, we have the trailer, which we're constantly kind of tweaking a little bit. I just don't know that you're ever done because now I attend a lot larger events. I pay a lot more for them, so then you have certain sales goals that you want to hit, right? Well, I can't hit them if I can't get that inventory in there. So now we're redoing one side of my setup. And like dialing stuff in as well. Like I feel like we've gotten kind of a hold on our social media, at least Facebook, my Instagram. That's going to be a focus for later in life. But I
Much
like our
later.
daughter. Yeah, our daughter we pay to do our social media, and so I think we've finally gotten on the same page with it. And we're getting this last few weeks. There's just been a lot of traction, so I'm feeling really good about it. Allows me to focus on my other stuff.
Well, and I know you just brought on a new
A
plus size model.
model.
And I love that you announced her. And then I love that you did pictures together. I was like, oh my gosh, they're so cute. Like you and her next to each other. That's
Oh,
adorable.
we've been looking for over a year. It's something my customers want, and I needed to do because I do my own pictures, and I totally understand. And I just needed somebody with a flexible schedule because she does, so she's able to get to the shoots when we do them, like once a week or once every 2 weeks. So going forward, my goal is that she's in all of them, and that eventually my site becomes all the very first picture will be her and I in each item. That's my ultimate goal. It's gonna take time to turn all that over, but that's
Yeah.
where we're at. We got another big one next Thursday because I got inventory coming in. So
She and you together are the most adorable thing. I was dying when I saw those pictures. And I
Oh,
love that you
yeah.
introduced her and you just like made a big deal out of her, and it was just so cute.
Every time I talk about her or I talk to her, like I just get really emotional because it's I mean she's my customer and she just embodies it. Even husband's like she's perfect. I mean she just looks so good and it's just we've been looking for so long. Like that is a huge win for me. That's a huge win.
She is,
So
she's perfect. And the
yeah.
fact that she's a customer is like the coolest thing ever.
Oh, she buys a lot from me.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So
Okay,
that's
guys,
so
do you have any questions for Mary since we've got
I
her?
did. I did have a question. Hi, Stephanie. My question, Mary. So are you just selling the clothes at the pop-up event, just clothes, or do you sell other things?
I mean, I sell women's clothes and accessories. I don't really sell
Okay.
like any home decor. I do have some small gifts for like add-ons, especially during, I bring more of that stuff in during the holidays. So I
And
have like little books and I have like lunchbox notes, stuff that like moms would like to grab. And I'll do like scarves and slippers and little bags, like handbags, clutch type things, but nothing else really.
do you feel that you do well at the pop-ups because you've been going there a while, so you're more known, or what do you do to, sell well at the pop-ups?
Yeah. So well, if it's an outdoor, well, there's a couple things. So when I launched 3 years ago in May, like we learned very quickly that just putting my website up wasn't going to be enough to make money. I mean, anybody can put a website up, right? So then it
Right.
was like I did all this work and it's like, yay, my website's launched. And then it was like, okay, well now what? And then that's when I realized like really the real work began. And so we did our first event that July. So just 2 months after I launched, and woo, it was a learning experience. I did not have much inventory, but getting that cash flow in was so big for my business. And so then I wanted more, obviously, right? I mean, we do like between 30 and 40 events a year. So sometimes we're double booked, like we do a lot of them. And what I've learned, I would say, is that if I would do it once, and then you need to decide whether or not that's your customer or it isn't. Because sometimes I go places, and there's people that may be selling like like tumblers and freshies, and we do events where they're all that, but that's all people are buying, like t-shirts, tumblers, freshies. They don't want my $64 pair of Judy Blues. Like that's not what they're out there to do. And
Right.
so I think you learn that. I mean, there's been events for me that have been a flop. And then I do keep track. I'm a spreadsheet girl. I keep a track of a lot of things on a spreadsheet, but we track all of our events, the dates, how much we paid for them, and then what our sales were, so that at year end, my husband's very involved in my business. And so we do a end of year business meeting in January where we go away for the weekend and we have an agenda and all the things. And then we'll look at those events and we'll rank them and then we'll say we ain't going back to that. So you kind of just know. And
Right.
I do have events that they know me, they'll come to see us because we're there. And I also, if it's a new event, I do have a little boutique trailer, which is always kind of a draw, but I don't think it's upped my sales in any way. I just live in Louisiana and weather can be crazy and we were tired of dealing with it.
Yeah, because I remember you added that, and now it doesn't matter what the weather is, and it's easier to transport, right? Because I can remember the days of like stuffing. I could not fit one more hanger in my car. Like it was stuffed to the brim to the point that I actually had to throw some of my old inventory in the trash can because it would not fit in my car because I had help going there, but I didn't have help coming back. So, I mean, I'm sure the trailer has helped you make life more easier, right?
Well, my husband's we used to shove 2 booth spaces, tents and all. I'm trying to get it on my laptop. And into my Traverse. And people were always like amazed at what we could get in, but it had to go in a certain way. And it was killing his back. So really that's why we got it, was mostly to haul. And then we just built it out to use.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions for Mary? No?
Do you find that jeans and jeans sell well, or do you get a lot of returns on them? Because I think of myself, when I go to the store to try on jeans, I may have to try on 100 pair of jeans before I find something I like and it fits well. So I was just wondering, and I guess that's why I've been hesitant about putting jeans in my store. I didn't want to get a lot of returns. Do you have any issues with that?
I don't, but like I said, I only carry Judy Blue, and a lot of people either know what size they wear, or they're familiar with the brand, or they already have them. And
Yeah.
I love when I get the opportunity to talk to people about them at an event, because they're like, oh, I saw these on TikTok, you know, and I don't have TikTok, so I can't tell you what they're seeing on there. But I like that I get the opportunity to talk to them about the fit, about what Judy Blue's about. Like, and I've had 4 different colors of their joggers, which have a different fit than regular Judy Blue. So I just really like to get to have the conversation. And no, I've never had any returns from them, because I think where I'm at, they're pretty popular, like just the brand itself. And so I haven't ventured out into any other ones because they're doing well for me. But I
Okay.
think if you give a good enough description, are you online only?
Yes.
I think if you give a good enough description about the fit, like, you know, I try to, you know, you need to size down one from your department store size, like, and I've done it live, or I've done fit videos with them, or we do like posts about them. I think if you give enough detail, you know, you're really going to take that out of your customer's mind, you know?
Yeah, and when you do denim, you want to stick to the name brands, because that way people like me even, and that's one of the only products that I recommend that you put it's either the higher end, like if you have shoes that are well-known brand